Hey everyone, and welcome to the second phase of the expedition, the Remnant expedition. You find myself here at the industrial waste facility. I was just about to drop the rest of the stuff into the containers and to the disposals, but I was waiting for you guys to come back. And then we're gonna start today with continuing the next phase of this expedition, which is phase 2. If you have been watching me in the previous phase, we already managed to actually complete this and this purely by accident. We didn't have to do much just to get this happening. This one right here, this we did a config. We saved our Colossus as a config. How we did that? We just did that at the geobay. Go to your configs and then just stay and store one as a config, and that will unlock your milestone. So we're just gonna unlock these right now. So I'm gonna take the auto mechanics, which is gonna give me the excavation blade plants, and that is also gonna allow me to add them to the rover or to the exocraft. There we go. For that we will need some carbon nanotubes and metal plating. And then we also have the roadkill, which is gonna give me the title bulldozer. So that is another phase or milestone done. Now, before I install the excavation blade, let me just dump everything off here. And let's throw it all inside the correct disposal unit. So this is going to be explosive. This is radioactive. There we go. That should be it. All of it gone. We still got one there. Let's go and pick that one up. Oh, goodbye. That glitched through the floor. That was not the intention. Alright, no worries. So, we need to install the excavation blade. We will need metal plating, which I have because I still had the platings from my geobay, my exocraft geobay. We just need 3 carbon nanotubes. To make 3 carbon nanotubes, we'll need carbon. I think we might have enough to do that. No. We need one more. I do have a lot of condensed carbon, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop some into my refinery and just make some for that. So the condensed carbon becomes carbon by 1 to 2. And let's go to my exocraft again, make one more and install that on my rover. There we go. Now we have the excavation blade. Because now, the next mission after this is we get fuel unit system, so we can install the fuel unit on our exocraft. So let's do that. Install, and you can just drop it wherever because it doesn't link to anything. So you can just drop it even next to your excavator blade. It doesn't matter. Alright, so the next thing we need to do, and if you look at what the next step is, we need to lay waste or excavate obstacles with the Colossus. That means we just need to drive over stuff with this thing attached. Now, while we're doing that, it might be a smart thing to just drive towards the waste heap and just unlock both of these, because we also need to drive over hazardous flora with the exocraft. So let's just select the second waste heap as our milestone. And we do this while we're driving towards it. So let's see, where is our marker? Oh, we need to scan for it, sorry. So let's scan for the waste heap. And it's right there. 7 minutes away. So what we're going to do while we're driving towards the waste heap, we're just going to be focusing on both hazardous flora and destroying the stones and the trees. So we see some hazardous flora there. Just drive over this, drive over the stones, and destroy as much possible of the resources. If you see another hazardous flora, just drive over it. There we go. We already killed all the plants. The next thing we need to do is just drive over a whole bunch of stuff and get the 500 damage on, like, just excavators. I'm just going to be driving, and when it pops up, I'll just show you that it popped up, so you guys don't have to wait for me 7 minutes to drive there. Alright, here we go. Smashed 500 obstacles, and that's another milestone done. We just have to drive now to our waste heap. Let me just complete these two. This is going to give me a nutrient ingestor, which, if you want to, you can install it onto your craft, on your exosuit. What this is going to allow you to do is just go in here, and it will allow you to put food in here. For example, the ice cream. If I put the ice cream in right here, you will see it will give me an effect of 65 cold resistance. So this might be handy to activate while it's night, so you're using less of your hazard protection in case you're like cold. Alright, for example, now it's starting to be night. I can just begin ingestion, and that is going to reduce my cold resistance. The other thing we did as well was here. This is going to give me an assortment of cakes and Korvax word. Pretty pointless, but the assortment of cakes you can also use inside your ingester. So if you want to, you can also go into your ingester and then add the cakes that you have here into your ingester. Let me just... Nice, a lot of ferrite dust, that's nice. So the only thing we have to do right now, check the second waste heap and then bring that back to the industrial salvage. We still got 3 minutes to go, so I'll see you when I'm there. Alright, here we are again, the next waste heap. This should activate our second rendezvous. There we go. Which is going to give us some engine upgrades. So we can install these as well. This is going to be 3 B-class upgrades. Now this means that the C-class upgrades are going to be overloaded. So I'm just going to install all 3 of them. And just have a double check. You will see that this one has -6 fuel usage. 7 top speed, -8 fuel usage, and -8 fuel usage. If I compare that with my C-class, you can see that these, even with the supercharge, doesn't even reach that. Alright. So we're just going to remove the 3 C-class, and we're just going to install the B-class instead. Now, you could package... wait, let me see, which one has the most speed? I think this one has the most speed. Let's put that one in the supercharge here, and then bring that one back here. So now we have a 15% top speed. So if you want, you can also store the technology and put it aside if you want to sell it for nanites. But the nanites are like 16 nanites, so it's really not worth it. And you will get some wiring loom, chromatic metal. You never know, it might be handy for crafting something later on. Alright, so now we need to select again 5 special waste. But you can see we got way more. We got some... toxic again here, we got some radioactive, and we got more explosives. So I'm just gonna take all of it, drop it into my flatbed, and then we're gonna drive back to our processing facility. That means we got 14 pieces aboard. So let's drive this all back to our waste disposal unit, which is, how far is this driving? 7 minutes. So I will see you again once I am done with that drive. And hopefully we don't have too much humps on the road. Alright, here we are again. Let's drop all of that into the containers. There we go. Let's see what we have. We got some more toxic waste. Let's just drop it in there. And that's 5. That should be our milestone. Alright, so this is the second phase done. We get the Cyclops scope plants, which you're going to install. We will need magnetized ferrite, a microprocessor, and a hermetic seal. And then we also have the final one, the final phase reward, which is the camouflage finish. There we go. Let's select this one as well. And now we can also add camouflage to onto our exogram. Right, so next time we're going to be doing phase 3, which is installing the Cyclops scope and then do most of these as well. So for that, we're going to be focusing on that next time. What I'm going to do right now, let's just drop the rest of these in here. So the next phase, we can just start straight from scratch and install that Cyclops scope. Oh, there we go. We have another milestone done. For the people wondering what had just happened, we have done another milestone, which is probably going to be phase 5 or 4. Let me see. There we go, phase 5. You can see we have also done this one right now. And this is just by throwing the explosives inside there. So yeah. Alright, that's going to be it for phase 2. I will see you again for the phase 3 next time. This phase was pretty short. We didn't have to do that much. I hope this was a helpful one, and I will see you again next time. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye for now.